Welcome to the Stronger Leader Podcast, home of the hashtag Stronger movement, where we explore the fascinating tapestry of human experience. I'm your host, Tony Cardello. Each episode, we'll sit down with a remarkable guest to dive into their unique journeys, from successful business leaders to individuals who have faced the darkest of times and emerged stronger, even from some of the inspiring youth of this emerging generation. We'll also cover essential topics on marriage, leadership, as well as spiritual, physical, and mental health, all in hopes to provide you with the tools and motivation to navigate your own life's challenges. Whether you're here to learn, grow, or simply be inspired, there's something for everyone. So get comfy, settle in, and join us as we embark upon this journey together. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as well. Turn on the notifications so you'll know whenever we drop new content. All right, let's get started. Okay, you ready for this intro?
I'm ready.
Welcome to the Stronger Leader Podcast. It's your host, Tony Cardello. I'm here with my man and a longtime friend, Dane Moss. What's up, Dane?
What's happening?
So it's funny is I keep doing that intro on every one of them, and I say the same thing. I don't even know if I'm going to use that intro, but guess what?
Dude, I thought that was pretty cool.
I've used it every time.
Go for it. I didn't know you were going to play DJ when we started.
Yeah, you know, all the good stuff. All right, so this podcast for me is really cool because I should have been a little bit more nostalgic and had you on as my very first guest. But Big Mike beat you to it. And he helped me kind of set everything up. So
good.
We went through some trial and error. So we got some good audio set up now. So I saved it better for you once we were set up a little bit better. So anyway, so the backstory on this is why this is special to me is because Dane actually invited me on his podcast, 2 or 3 years ago. You're the first time.
Yeah. So the first time we were in the River Market at that point.
Yeah.
So it's probably 2.5, 3 years ago.
Yeah. So that was for me the first podcast I had ever been on, and internally you internalize that, and I'm kind of like, all right, man, I'm kind of making it. Like people want to hear my story, So it kind of made me feel good about it. So I appreciate that. And then since then you've had me back again to share my story and share the stuff with the Stronger Leaders. So I thought it was appropriate, and of course on those podcasts, you always give your guest the opportunity to talk about themselves and about what they're doing. And, you've been so gracious, kind to let me, share my story and brag on myself. And, you've got a really good story in yourself and a cool success story and taking some chances. And, I want to give you that same respect that you gave me to share your story. And, hopefully for people that are watching this, my hope from having Dane on here is that you garner just taking that leap of faith sometimes, and you got to do it, and that strength and inner strength, and what are some of the pitfalls that come with that, and maybe you can help somebody learn some lessons that maybe not do some of the things that you did, and so good stuff. So first of all, why don't you tell us a little bit about like where you're from, where you grew up, and kind of where your life has taken you up until now.
Yeah. First, I want to say thank you for having me on.
For sure.
We've been dropping a podcast now for 180 plus weeks. So
that's awesome.
There's a lot that goes into it. And when I started the podcast, I'll jump into myself a little bit after, but when I started the podcast, it's when people are out listening, and it just takes changing one person's life. And when I first started the podcast, I'll be honest, it was a business play, and it was something that I'm like, maybe this can be like a backdoor sales tool.
Yeah.
And as it progressed, I had a lot of people reach out, and they're like, hey, I really need to hear that this week. And it was cool just getting the feedback. And also there's so many people that I was friends with that I didn't really know the story behind them. And I felt like the podcast was a great place to tell that story.
Yeah.
So, been a really cool journey for myself and everyone that's been on the podcast, and it's opened a lot of doors, and it's created a lot of new relationships, and financially it's something that I've funded the whole thing from day one, never taken a sponsorship. But one of the biggest things that I think the podcast is going to turn into for me, and what it's progressed into, is one day I'll have kids, and I'll be gone, and I'm going to have documentation of all of it.
That's really cool. You know, I had a situation where somebody, the doctor that I see and that mentors me, he had mentioned something about the legacy play in that, and I hadn't thought about that because as I've gotten healed, one of the videos that really helped me in my first initial phases of my sobriety, I have sent that to no less than several hundred people over the years. And as I look at it, he brought that to my attention. I went back and looked at that, and that video is 11 years old. And so it was only 1 year old when I first saw it 10 years ago when I first got sober, And so just thinking about the impact that one video has had with just a few hundred people that I've shared. And I know that thing's been viewed, several 100,000 times over the years. So yeah, I just thought about that forward lasting legacy impact that the cool thing with these socials. So that's awesome acknowledgement of that. Yeah. I get that too.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the really cool things about podcasting and just having conversations with people. And also I think more people need to have in-depth conversations for overall emotional intelligence and just understanding how other people tick and that everyone's story is different.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times people don't always put that at the forefront, and they think that people will assume that they know what someone else is going through, what someone else has been through, and that's not always the case.
Right.
So I've used the podcast in multiple different forefronts, but one of it was to give local business owners a voice to explain that story and tell that story. And then also to help the next generation, or just help anyone out there that might need that insight at that time.
Yeah, because you have, stories like mine, redemption stories. You got good business stories. You have a wide, I think that, following, and you can see the thumbnails. I'm like copying your platform because it's excellent. It's perfect. You're not pigeonholed in any one thing. People can be educational, they can be empowered, they could be motivated, they could be, you've had everything on there. It's been super cool.
I'd probably avoid like the first 30 or so, because I definitely didn't know what I was doing. This has already started off way more of a big hit than what mine was. And
I learned.
I dealt with the days on YouTube that people were commenting. They're like, well, I guess anyone can have a podcast. I'm like, well, that's true.
Yes.
And it was like, I was probably about 22 to 24 episodes in when I was like, guys, I think we hang this thing up. It's taking a lot of time. And early days, we had a TV that was set up with questions on it, and I had people that would give. Madison was definitely my harshest critic, because she would go through and she would listen to him, and she goes, "You need to stop saying all the time. You're using too much, going through just everything." I'm like, you know what, babe, your podcast is great.
Yeah.
And she's like, if you don't want my feedback, I'm like, no, I want it, but just easy on it.
Yeah, be sensitive, please.
But it's helped me in a lot of aspects of my life too, just in conversation and navigating people, and so.
Yeah, that's cool. That's been cool. So tell us about where you grew up. You grew up here in Kansas City, right?
Kearney, Missouri.
Yeah. All right. Home of Jesse James, right?
Yeah.
And where Jesse James?
I don't think I'm near the outlaw he was, but it
good.
was. Yeah. Grew up Kearney. Went to school in Kearney. I grew up racing motocross. That took up a lot of my time, and I think most people think of that sport as just going around to a local racetrack and riding and
playing in the dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I traveled the country in a 40-foot diesel pusher, a 30-foot race trailer, and we traveled 52 weekends out of a year. So,
oh wow.
It.
Did you turn pro?
No.
What was the highest class you went to?
So I raced intermediate locally, and then on a national level, but pro and riding a dirt bike is a little bit different.
Oh yeah.
You can go pro on a local level and you can compete, but it's not paying you anything, and you're not racing professionally.
Yeah.
So it was something that I started riding a motorcycle at 4 years old, and it was something that made me grow up really fast when I was young. And I think a lot of people are accustomed to being in team sports, and I think there's a lot of knowledge that comes from being being in team sports, and I've been in team sports also, but there's also a level of independence that comes from racing a motorcycle that you don't get a point of finger anywhere. That when I went out, if I didn't win, it was my fault.
Yeah.
And I think that was 8 years old. I was sponsored by Cobra, No Fear, Monster, you name it. Like UPS guy was at our house every single day dropping stuff off, and it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
At 8 years old, I was treated like an adult.
Yeah.
I showed up to racetracks to win. It was not a joyful thing. To where early, get to 10, 11, 12, my brother and I are going to business dinners and stuff with my dad and sitting at Capitol Grill with people, and my dad's like, you come to these? He goes, you don't open your mouth. He goes, you stand up, you shake someone's hand if they go to shake your hand. And he's like, these are the principles and morals you live by. But he goes, you're going to be around these people. And I think it made my brother and I grow up really fast. But
now, what were these business meetings? Were these for like sponsorship stuff or just just his business?
Just his business.
I got it. Yeah.
So
my dad, that's cool. That's cool that he brought you along on that stuff.
And it's cool too, because when I see you and Tony Jr. at the gym and see you guys run around, it's like I see that same thing, that you're teaching him those morals, those values. And my brother and I remember being at the gym when I was little and going, and my dad's like, you're going to be here? He goes, if you want to be great, this is what you have to do. You have to put in the time. He goes, everyone wants the shiny trophy. Everyone wants to win, but people don't want the work that goes in to get it.
I got to ask you something.
Yeah.
I had something happen the other day, and I've been meaning to call you. I forgot. Did your dad tell you I saw him?
Where at?
At church. He was in the front row.
Yep, he did tell me that.
So has he been going?
He's been going some, and the wild thing is, I actually have a lot of people around me that have been exploring it more.
That's cool.
And it's
and you know what's crazy is it doesn't surprise me, because I don't picture your dad as somebody who wouldn't be a Christian, because he's a strong man, a good leader. He's good. He's always been good with me, straightforward, straight up. We haven't agreed on everything all the time, but we've always been really good. And so to see him in church, it doesn't surprise me, but it makes me happy, because like he'd be a good person for Christ.
So we went to church when we were younger.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that at one point.
I remember going to church when I was little and coming up that way. But my brother and I always got to make our own decisions.
Sure.
And my dad was always very firm on that he goes, I'll show you different pathways, but ultimately he goes, it's your guys' life to live. And I don't like that sometimes, and like I said, growing up in a small town, there was a lot of negatives that I felt that came from the church.
Oh, yeah.
It was people that hid behind things, and a small town, everybody knows everybody, and I've always based people on their actions, not necessarily their words.
Mm-hmm.
You can sit here and say whatever you want.
Yeah.
Your actions that you put in place day over day are the true thing that I feel like that you're being, if we're going to say judged, or you're being based off of. That's what I look at. And
yeah, there's a saying we have that if you give people time, they'll tell you who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
So that was, once again, going through Kearney. I went to college at Maryville, and
Did you graduate?
Uh-huh. So
what was your degree?
I have a degree in geology, a minor in physics.
That's why you own a marketing company. That makes perfect sense. Now
Partners
I get it.
right together.
Yeah, duh.
So, I got done with that. I was planning on going for 2 more years at Oklahoma State.
Hold on, let's back up. What were you going to do with a geology degree?
So I was planning on heading on to Oklahoma State to do petroleum engineering. And I was pretty set on that, but I've always been a family person, and my brother's my best friend, and I talk to my dad every single day. I see him every single week, and it was, I have a 16-year-old little sister now, and I felt like if I went there.
Chloe's 16.
She's driving now. Yeah.
This just got old.
I know. I feel old sometimes. Like, we took her out shopping for her birthday and stuff, and she's like grabbing stuff. I'm like, I'm not buying that. I'm like, you're something else. You're covering yourself up more. But Yeah, it was. I felt like I wasn't going to be the one that left.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always watched out for my brother and taken care of him. And I know Chloe's coming right behind, and I'll watch out and take care of her. And my dad's always told me that was my job. So he said, he goes, if anything ever happens to me, he goes, it's on you.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to, there's not a lot of petroleum engineering jobs around here. So it would have, and I've always thought very far into the future. And I think I've always just looked at a kind of a full scope of life. And
How old are you now?
31.
Okay, so when I first met you was when you were in the car business with your dad. Were you you were fresh out of college then, or were you still in college? Were you finishing up? Were you working at TDR while you were in college?
So I started as a porter at 15.
Okay.
And I worked there until I was 16, or until I was 26 when I started the marketing company. And I did porter, got into sales, worked through sales, got into buying inventory, got into management. And that's also when I was in college, and I looked at 2 more years. I was sick and tired of being poor in college. It was... everyone, my whole life has been like, oh, dad does well, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, my dad does well.
Yeah, right.
Not me.
Yeah, right.
I'm poor. Like
Yeah.
college, I would go buy out the Visa gift cards at the bookstore to take Madison out to dinner every Friday. Excuse me. And I was just tired of it. It was, I pulled financial aid all the way through school and paid for it. And I was ready to get my life started.
Yeah.
And so started the dealership after that, and we probably met right about. Cause was I buying inventory? I was buying, wasn't I?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I've probably been 21.
Yeah. So here I can timeline it. I was 2000 January 16th of 2016 is when I got sober, and I think that I worked somewhere for a period of time, and then I think I ended up getting a job there. So that was one of the first jobs that I got out of sobriety, which I was super grateful that Todd gave me an opportunity. Knowing my past, my very recent past at the time, Todd gave me an opportunity, and it was what I needed during that time. But yeah, I think I met you. So that would have been sometime in 2016, probably, or maybe late or early 17, somewhere in that.
So that would have been my senior year. So I graduated May of 17.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I was starting to buy. So I would drive back Wednesday nights and buy cars. There was that little auction up in St. Joe for a while.
Uh-huh.
It was like Mad Dog or something. It was something weird. But there wasn't a single buyer that had bought a vehicle over $20,000. So they'd normally have like 2 each week, and I go there and they'd have Busch Light there for me. So I'd go sit and I'd drink like 2 or 3 Busch Lights. I'd make it $5,000 under MMR offer on their 2 vehicles. They're over 20, and just work ifs that night when I drove back to Kearney. Then I get up, buy cars Thursday morning. I'd drive back to school, do my physics labs 1-on-1 with the professor Thursday evening, go to class Friday morning, drive back, sell cars Friday afternoon, sell cars on Saturday. We were always the janitorial service at the dealership too. So
yeah.
We'd all be up at the dealership.
Hold on. Your dad used to tell me about he said something about the tile was a specific kind of tile. You had to polish it a certain kind of way. You're on your hands and knees polishing the tile.
One day I hope I make enough money. I'll buy that building and rip all that tile out. just because.
Yeah. And then sell the building.
Yeah. Just so whoever the next person is doesn't have that tile. Cause it was, it sucked. And you could only reach like 3 tiles at a time, and that showroom was huge, and it was.
But here, let's talk about that for a moment. From a growing piece, and just how you do anything is how you do everything. I mean, we're talking about your dad, an operator of a dealership, an owner, in small town Kearney, where it's a lot of gravel roads, a lot of dust. You guys are selling big 4-wheel drive pickup trucks. You got guys coming in muddy cowboy boots. I mean, honestly, the condition of the floor probably didn't matter as much as it did to you guys, but I think it was more of a principle of.
But the wild thing was, all growing up, it was the same way with mowing. It was the same thing with everything. my dad and I are very similar that I can't half-ass a job.
Right. So how you do anything is how you do everything, right?
So the floors, like, I was just as particular about the floors as my dad was. I'd come in, I'm like, if I walked in, I got dealership early every morning. When the sun hit it, you could see if there was like streaks in it anywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm like in there polishing the floor first thing in the morning, and it was just something that you take pride in everything that you do, and
you take that with you, because you don't just do that on floors. Like I've seen your businesses, every one of them, even from your starting business to all the way to where you are now. You ain't cut any corners in any of them.
Yeah.
And it keeps on going in that regard. So that's super cool. I love that. How you do anything is how you do everything, and you're a great example of that for sure.
It's my wife's always told me, she goes, you have 200%. She goes, which, I mean, I think we've spoke on multiple podcasts about this too. I feel great business owners. I mean, I've floored a fine line between being wildly successful or being on a street corner.
Yeah.
Like you're going to point addiction whichever way you want to point it.
100%.
And it's like, I'm really good. Like, and I've always known that about myself, towards I've always been very aware of when to cut bad things off.
Yeah.
Because I know what it's going to look like. And when I take that bird's eye view, I know that's not the outcome that I want.
I used to speak, I didn't realize I was speaking ill life over myself, but if you ain't going to be good at it.
Yeah.
Well, I was.
Yeah. But yeah, it's because growing up, we mowed 20 acres every week too.
Oh gosh. Yeah. I don't even own a lawnmower. Do you own a lawnmower now?
No.
I didn't think it's an area of diminishing returns on your time, right? And and you're probably like me. I'm so freaking particular. I'm going to tell you the number one reason why I got rid of it. Not because I couldn't do it. It's because I would be out there. It would take me an entire day to do the lawn, because by the end of it, I got scissors trimming up the last few pieces of just out of place hair, so to speak. Right. And there was no, and what used to piss me off is when I finally started paying a guy to come over, lay them stripes down. He's in and out in like 25 minutes, and it looked way better than mine that I did all day long. So I was like, that's it, I'm done.
So the wild thing was when I first started MMG, I've always struggled with controlling my time. And what I mean by that is I'm really good at working. And then if I earn my time over here, I feel like it has to be worked time in trade, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I'm paying somebody to mow my yard, it'd take me 2 hours to get it done by myself. That's where it's done right. I could pay somebody like $45 to come do it, knock it all out. So I was like, that 2 hours I'm going to dedicate to doing something else that pays me.
More than $45.
More than $45.
Yeah.
So I started doing monthly website leases for $200 a month.
Yeah.
And then they compound. So I still have like... I have probably 50 to 60 websites that pay me $200 every single month still.
That's
great. That I only used to work on in the time that somebody...
Those 2 hours.
So I'd only do 4 of them a month.
Yeah.
And I did it for a while, and then finally I was like, it's okay like to earn your time back and not have to use it working.
Yeah.
So it took me a long time to kind of wrap my head around that I'm like
maybe rest or something.
I'm not real good at resting.
I'm terrible
but
at
it's
it.
like... I take my wife out to go do something down at Overland Park, or we could go travel somewhere. We could go, like, learning the value of the time and what you need to do with it. I used to always think it had to be something towards making money, business, or something that was moving the needle. That isn't always the case.
I love that concept. I just had this vision of having like a, the old checkbook ledger balancer deal, like almost having something where you could write down your time balance, right? If I gave up, I added some time back to my life over here. So I'm, kind of balancing your time checkbook, so to speak. That's cool. I like that perspective.
That's how I always kind of did it in my head. Was same thing that I sat down with Madison and I was like, hey, based on what you make a year in real estate, we break it down to a 40-hour work week. I can show you what an hour of your time is worth. Mm-hmm. We take an hour of her time. Like, it doesn't make sense that you clean our house. It doesn't. And she's like, well, I can. I'm like, I get that you can. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Right.
So I'm like, get that time back. And then she's like, well, what do I do at that time? I was like, I don't know, we can go do something. Like,
Yeah.
It's already taken me this long to figure out the whole mowing thing, which ultimately only took me like 2 websites to cover the mowing all the time. But yeah, it's just kind of funny on how that works. And
okay, so let's forward. Let's take you through the chronological time here. So you were at TDR doing all that, and I remember before you left having some discussions with you. You were, and I think you had actually even kind of started dabbling in maybe doing some stuff for some other people.
No,
you were doing all your own. Your own social media stuff, all your videos and stuff, you were doing them for yourself.
Yep.
Okay, so you hadn't gone in, and maybe that was the deal where somebody's like, "Hey man, why don't you do that for me?" And you're like, "Wait a minute."
So I had probably 15, 20 dealerships approach me at the sale, all coming up to me,
Because they start seeing your videos and your content going out. Okay, yeah.
And I look back at it now, I'm kind of mind blown that was the level of content that I put out. Like I look back at it now, it's pretty shitty.
Hold on, having the smoke bombs. I mean, dude,
I was a big smoke bomb guy.
You were a big smoke bomb guy. Yeah. It was cool though. It was a great effect. I love it.
Nobody else was doing it, so I've always
now you can just do it in CapCut.
Yeah, I've just always hated being the same as everyone else.
Yeah, no, it was great.
And I had such like a pet peeve sitting with the marketing people that came in. And they're showing me all these other dealerships. I'm like, all of it looks exactly the same. Mm-hmm. It's the same cookie cutter shit that you did for the other 20 people. And I'm like, this doesn't work. And I just over and over and over, I never really got what we were looking for. So I'd taken over our marketing up at TDR. And when I first got a camera and drone and everything, I was told that I was wasting my time. And
who told you that?
Pretty much everybody. Yeah. But I don't need to give exact names.
Yeah.
But it was
you know who you are.
But I was told I was wasting my time. Yeah. And fast forward like a year, comes a conversation that I'm supposed to do it for multiple stores, and the whole job was going to change.
Who was your first big account?
When I started the marketing?
Yeah. Or when you started doing videos for stores, like who was the first multi-rooftop deal that you got?
So the dealership space, I had a lot of like single dealerships and stuff. So
right. Did you have a group? Did you sign on one where you're like, hey, we got like 4 stores? Was Briggs?
Yeah.
Briggs,
so I had Briggs for a while.
Kernow maybe? Kernow and Briggs?
Had Kernow.
Yeah. Those are some of your early guys, right?
Yeah. So first one was Heartland Chevrolet.
Okay.
And the one thing I've really struggled with the car business as a whole, because I do very little in the car world now.
Yeah.
But
you learned your lesson.
Yeah, I mean, we have 100 plus companies that have one dealership.
Yeah.
But it's the accountability level that you have ownership comes down into management. We're not selling enough cars. We're not doing X, Y, and Z. So instead of taking any ownership of like, hey, these are the problems that we're having, our marketing sucks.
Marketing sucks, yeah.
So let's offload them. I'm looking at it. I'm like, you're selling a 12% close ratio. I go, you don't train your salespeople at all. I'm like, this is where your problem lies. But that's going to directly put a target on their back. So that's why dealers just churn marketing companies. And finally, that's when I got really heavy into the blue collar world. And the wild thing is the clientele that I loved in the car world is the clientele now that I work with in the marketing world, that it was like, it's the same person.
Yeah.
It was a person who was coming in buying these $high diesel trucks, these business owners that were out working and building America. It was like, I have so much of that clientele now that it was just like the world works in a mysterious way and puts you right back where you're supposed to be.
Uh-huh. You were experienced.
Which I thought, because I knew dealers and I knew the way that the inside of a dealership worked, it'd be a vantage point for me.
Yeah, and yeah, for sure. You could talk the lingo and yeah.
But I think it's almost a pitfall in it though, because I know too much in it. I know where their problems are, and they don't want to look at their problems.
Yeah, you almost want to open up a whole consulting division.
I've really thought about
a car dealership consulting division. Yeah,
I've thought about coming in and just being like, hey, we do consulting on these different things, but it'd be very data driven. And I think that's where a lot of times people don't want to look at the data points to see what's actually wrong. And if you're not closing at the right, you don't need more leads. You need to figure out how to get your closing ratio where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Dealers hate hearing that.
Oh yeah.
I've lost 4 or 5 dealerships because I brought up that one topic.
Yeah, it's taboo. I'll tell you, it's listen, I know that better. I know that in my heart of hearts. I'm still having a conversation with, Honeycutt, our the guy that helps lead our marketing department. And I'm like, man, are you sure look like he's like, dude, your website traffic is the exact same month over month, year over year. You're getting the same amount of traffic. You're just, yeah. And he's trying to be polite about it. And I'm like, our closing percentage sucks. I know. Yeah. If we just drive more leads at a lower closing percentage, but at what expense, right? You're spending a ton of money on marketing that you really don't need to, and you just keep the marketing money back a little bit, get the leads you're getting, and close on them better. Yeah, I know that firsthand. It's just so hard. That's a harder solution.
And the wild thing is, most of the time you would think the marketing person would be like, "Hey, spend more money."
Yeah, right.
So that's typically what I say, and that's the other side of the table for years. And marketing company was always like, "We'll just spend more."
Yeah, drive more leads.
Yeah. So I actually want to solve the root problem to help a business grow.
Yeah.
And I've always been that way since day one, since we started MMG.
Well, in the world of profitability, if profit's good, vendors are usually safe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a fact, right? So I think that was one of the things when I was with Viato, that was one of the things that really helped our software be sticky. It wasn't that they really couldn't live without the software. It's just we had that consultative approach into operating the used car department as a whole. And if used cars are performing well, then it makes the software sticky, right? This you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you taking that approach, that's huge. That's a really strong, solid approach, because listen, that's the first thing when business is down and profit's low, you start looking at, vendors are an immediate expense. You can cut them. It's easier and faster and cleaner than an employee.
Oh, and I'm not going to the craziest thing was most dealers, when we lost dealers in the automotive space, it was at peaks. It was like high months. And it's, once again, that accountability thing. Like in my company, I don't need the win.
Right.
People all the time that compliment MMG, I'm like, that's because I have a lot of great people. It's not me.
Right.
Go compliment my managers and my leadership side. They're going to say it's not them. They're going to say it's people that are out doing the work every day. Go compliment our content crew, and they're going to say it's because the marketing does a great job. Nobody takes that. It's a team that makes it all work.
Which is why it works.
It is. Yeah. And then I saw it over and over in the automotive space, and I think the automotive space probably holds majority of, it holds more ego than any other industry.
No.
So it's like the second.
I don't fit into that category at all.
Ego can be a good thing, but it can be a really bad thing too when it comes to actually what's best for the company. Because once again, I've lost accounts at really high points in the auto space, because what happens, dealership puts up a huge month, everything's good, but dealership world lives in a 30-day window. Mm-hmm. So then we start next month. And
what have you done for me lately, baby?
Well, now it's, hey, let's shave expenses. And then I'm having conversations. I'm like, didn't we just have a conversation 3 days ago about how you just put up a record-breaking month? Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, but we need more leads on this money. Well, like, they went and took the credibility, and they're like, well, I've been doing X, Y, and Z. I'm like, oh, so all these things have turned around in the last 6 months when we were here. That we've quadrupled your traffic, lead counts up, all these things are up. That's because you got a magic wand in your pocket.
Yeah, you're saying, I'm not saying we had everything to do with it, but at least admit we had something to do with it.
Show me the other variables that you changed, it probably doesn't always benefit me, but I don't let people push me around.
Yeah,
and I'm not just going to take something for what someone says. Let's look over the data of what everything's saying. Let's come to a conclusion and answer. And I think that's what, now I have, the dealership world is the space that you always talk about, that vendor security. Mm-hmm. That, like, I would lose sleep at night, that I'm like, dealer might just wake up tomorrow on a bad side of the bed and just call us and tell us to kick rocks.
1,000%.
I don't deal with that in any of our clientele now. We are a partner, and it is something that is just, I don't get up tomorrow and think I'm going to have an account call and cancel.
Right.
Dealerships would call and they'd be like, hey man, I just talked to my partner. We just need to pause for 30 days. I'm like, it's the only business that they're like, yeah, we should shut off our traffic. Like, which it's a love-hate relationship. I always,
I'm in it. I'm sitting here like being convicted right now.
But it's one of the things that I will say on a lot of the really big groups, you guys are much better at running it as a business.
Yeah.
That it is a full-size business. And like you're just talking about year over year, you're talking about quarters, you're closing out Q3, talking about Q1. Go into a single rooftop store, they're talking nothing outside of a 30-day window.
Yeah, right.
To where the bigger companies that we work with talk about yearly and quarterlies.
Yeah, projections and annual projections. And yeah, absolutely.
We work with small companies that talk in weeks, and the longest horizon they're going to put on themselves in maybe 30 days.
Yeah, I've always been, if I'm going to be an irrational operator with vendors, it's 90 days minimum. Mm-hmm. I mean, minimum. That's if I really if I was really unsure about trying, but I'll give it a shot. All right. I like what you're saying. I like you. I'll give it a shot. 90 days, you're on the clock, but usually it's you got to see 6 months, especially in the Midwest. We have seasonality like no other. I would say like if you were in one of the coastal regions, like down in Florida or something, where you got the same season all year round, you could probably, a 90-day window is probably a good enough window to realize if something's going to fit you or not. But here, you're so subjected, I mean, hell, we had it was 92 degrees last week, and I think it was 62 today.
Yeah.
That's impactful in our business, right? We can't immediately go to the marketing for that. So yeah, you got to give it some time.
You'll have some businesses that make a choice over a bad 5-day week.
Yeah.
Like it's wild to me. I'm like I had a bad week last week, and which granted, as we've grown and we've developed, I feel like we don't deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's we kind of see it, the writing on the wall before the partnership, and we just don't take it.
All right. So let's back up. So you finally made the leap out of the business. What'd that conversation look like with here? I want to know, because a lot of people are going to wonder, what was that process? So when did you, and was Madison selling houses yet at the time? Did you have or was she doing anything? Did you have dual incomes at least?
So she had just started selling real estate, probably about the year before that. And I was paying for leads for her.
Okay.
And at 22 years old, I mean, I was making a lot of money. Like I bought the new house on the golf course at 22, and everyone from the outside thought I was making it, and Madison started getting her feet under her in the real estate world. So we had some other income, and she had been telling me, she's like, I know you're not happy. I think it was the first time in my life that my attitude, I was becoming someone that I didn't really know.
Yeah.
And I was very one-dimensional, that all I really spoke about was the car business. And when I started looking at that bird's eye view again, started looking at something that I knew if I stayed that path, because when I was in the car business, my dad and I did not speak outside of the dealership. We butted heads all the time. Mm-hmm. My brother and I did not hang out outside the dealership. And
this was an evolution process too, right? It wasn't always like that because you guys are close.
Yeah.
So the deal, it was impeding on your relationship with your family.
Yeah, it got to where like I didn't really hang out with my family outside the dealership, but I didn't really have time to. I mean, we worked 12-hour days, bell to bell, Monday through Saturday. And I opened up a detail company. So the detail company in the back of TDR wouldn't detail our wholesale cars. I ran wholesale, so I'm like, what if I open up a detail and I detail them? So I'd clean cars from 8 to midnight, Monday through Thursday.
So you were still at the dealership at the time. So this was a second job for you, like a side hustle. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so at 8 o'clock each night, my brother's wife, Samantha, and Madison would come up, bring us food, and then all four of us would clean cars till midnight.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, so we did that. I did that for 3 years. And
see, this is the stuff that you guys don't see behind the scenes. You don't see, what do they say? Everybody wants to be successful until they see the invoice. And like, these are the line items that are on the invoice. Got to stay up till midnight with your wife, cleaning cars with your brother and his wife. I mean, a lot of people are out. You had me at hello. They're not going to do that. If that's part, that's too expensive.
I kind of look back at it, and the thing I'm most thankful for is the fact that didn't run my wife off.
Yeah, no kidding. Right?
It really is, because when I stepped out of the dealership, I told her, I'm like, this is not the life you deserve.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I'd failed her. I felt like I'd failed everybody around me. And I had a bank account with money. Like, I was comfortable financially, but life was not fun.
Yeah.
And I was a prisoner to a dealership that you pretty much took here's a year of your life. I was trading it off for a paycheck.
Yeah.
So that's when there's some conversations that happened. And I will say the one thing about me is, if you ever doubt me, that is the fastest way to get me to do something.
Yeah.
So my dad had a partner in the dealership.
Best revenge is massive success.
Yeah. So my dad had a partner in the dealership, and it was a conversation that I used to really frustrate me, and used to hold kind of a negative spot for me. But as I've progressed, it's turned into one of the conversations I'm most thankful for.
Fueled you.
It did. And it was something that, up until that point, I never had something where I could step out, and it wasn't that I went directly at my dad.
Yeah.
That was the first time it gave something that I could put between us that said, like, hey, this is the reason. And I went to my dad's office right after that conversation. I said, hey, I want to put my 2 weeks in. And he asked me what happened. I told him, and he said, he goes, it's your time to show the world what you can do.
Yeah, cool.
And I was told that day in that meeting that 92% of business owners fail in the first 4 years. Or first 2 years or something like that. But I have Dom Perignon bottles from June 30th of every year.
That's great. I love it.
Say 92% of businesses fail in the first 2 years or 4 years. And I'm like, they're signed by everybody. Like, you can tell I had a few drinks every time I open them. But
that's great.
I've never.
How many years you been in business now?
5.5.
Yeah. You're rolling.
So
you've done it. You've done a lot in 5.5 years.
We got 50 plus employees now, and
do you really? Wow.
Yeah. So it's the funny thing was, when I left the dealership, I put my 2 weeks in. The day I left, I don't remember what day of the week it was, because I left, and 2 days later, the whole country closed down for COVID. I'm sitting at home in my extra bedroom at my house, and I'm like, because I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, you know what? I go out and close like 2 or 3 accounts. I'm like back in it.
Yeah.
Back in it. I'm like, I don't even skip a beat. Next week, I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And like 2 days later, like, whole country closed down. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. And then I'm like, I think I messed up. And I sat still for like almost 60 days. Because I told Madison, I was like, I do not want to put out that I started a company.
I failed.
And just get nothing. And then like 60 days, people are like, oh, that was botched that. And so I waited till May of 2020 to put out that started. I put a Facebook post up, and I had 4 dealers reach out within an hour of putting it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when we first started speaking. I came out and filmed a couple cars out for you, but I'd picked up multiple dealers on retainer accounts. June 30th of 2020 is when I got my first check. And so June 30th I don't feel like a business is real until someone pays you. Yeah. So June 30th is the mark of pretty much everything I've done.
It's great.
But yeah, it was
So take us on that journey a little bit. So when you first started in business, it was just you and Madison, right? Because I remember when you came out to do those couple cars at Lee Summit for me, I think she was driving while you were getting the cool rolling shot.
Yep. So she didn't have enough real estate that was keeping her like swamped all day. So she would come out and she'd drive vehicles for me. And I mean, I'm not going to say I had any like wild amount of marketing knowledge.
Right.
Because the funny thing was, when I first started, I was just boosting Facebook posts.
Yeah.
And dealers just weren't using Meta, like Facebook. And I'm like, I posted a lot of cars on Marketplace. And I go into dealers. I'm like, how many cars you guys have posted on Marketplace? Like, none.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was making sales guys post 5 a day. I would come in 30 minutes early every day and post 5 before they got there. So I just had figured out this way of generating a whole load of additional leads all the time that just no one else was doing.
Yeah, you're way ahead of the curve for sure.
And so,
because we're doing that stuff today.
Yeah. And it was like, but that was just part of my requirement. And so Madison was helping me film these cars, and I was just clicking boost. And I was like 3-4 months in. My brother had started with me, and we're sitting in a bedroom, and one of the dealers had like an IT guy, and he's like, hey, I want to see all of your
ad accounts
or your Facebook analytics. So I'm like, how do I get those? Like, I don't know where to find those. So I'm like going to the boosted post. I'm like screenshotting each one of them, put them in the email. The guy's like, no, I want to see it from the ad account. I'm sitting there, I'm like on YouTube trying to figure out what a Facebook ad account is. I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, my brother and I are sitting in. And at this point, I mean, the two of us have I don't know, probably probably $500,000 a year business. Mm-hmm. Just two of us sitting in a bedroom doing videos
and off boosting.
Boosting posts.
It's so great.
I'm like, I don't know what this is. So
listen, this is a prime example of if you deliver your message with confidence, people will follow you and believe you.
The wild thing was it was working too.
Yeah, that's all that mattered. Who cares, right? It works. How does this work? I don't know. Do you care? It works.
That's what literally I was going and pitching. I'm like, you guys sit with all these marketing people that speak so high over your head to make themselves feel good. I'm like, am I selling you more cars? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, great. So I actually went in with this IT guy, and I kind of like met the guy, and I was like, I'm going to friend the guy, and I'm going to have him help us out.
Yeah.
So I go out and friend the guy. I was like, hey, dude, you and I both know you're selling more cars. You want matchback reporting? I need you to help me do this. He's like, oh, yeah, I bet, man. We matchback report 25 vehicles sold a month off of this. So he's like, yeah, dude, whatever you guys are doing, keep doing it, you're killing it. I was like, oh, yeah. I'm like, and then my brother and I are literally doing video shoots during the day. And then we're watching YouTube videos and LinkedIn learning videos at night.
Oh my gosh.
So the girls would hang out together downstairs. And my brother and I would sit upstairs and just watch learning videos one after another.
That's so good.
And I'm like, dude, this might as well be in Chinese. I'm like, when we first started watching them. But it was, I don't know, it was cool. It was fun. And it was ours.
So did you guys ever end up, I know not necessarily formally, but did you get like Google certifications? Did you put yourself through, because you know how Google does those little academies and stuff. Did you guys put yourself through those little academies that they offer?
We started doing those. Like I didn't do it for myself, but like Dalton is, Logan is, Dre is, like all them. Because once I started hiring more people, they started taking on the lion's share of that side.
Well, first of all, you were hiring people that had some working knowledge of it, so that they were already, right?
No, not at all. I still don't even really care about somebody's like, we could teach this stuff. Dalton was doing medical sales in Overland Park. Logan was running like 300 employees at Hallmark overnight. I was hiring my friends. We turned my basement into a frat house.
Yeah, so you took the human element and ran with it. Yeah, good. Listen, that's 90% of the battle. You got a good human with firepower that's ready to learn. Then you show them the way, they'll learn anything.
So the wild thing was, it went from my brother and I upstairs. That when we hired Dalton, there was 3 of us in a bedroom, and it was hot up there. It was like 12 by 12, 12 by 14 maybe, and we had one desk. We had 2 desks in there, and Dre and I sat across from each other at one desk, and the Dalton was next to us. And the bathroom's attached off of it, so I'm like, dude, we got to get out of here. And so I'm like, dude, I have a huge unfinished basement. Let's go downstairs. So like, yeah, we can all have our own desk. So we get in the truck, we go to Office Depot, we grab another desk and another different chair, and we go downstairs. We're building this desk. We take the desk from upstairs, we get them downstairs. We get ready to start hooking up computers. I'm like,
you got no power.
We got no outlets down here. So I'm on the phone. So we move everything up to my kitchen table, and we plug the computers back in so we keep working. And I call electrician, have him out the next day to put in if you go in my basement, there's random outlets.
Hold on. So guilty confession, and I probably should show you guys the video of this basement. I have one outlet running all this right now. It's in that back suspended. So there's a extension cord running through to, I'm sure it's a fire hazard. If OSHA came through here, they'd shut my podcast down.
Yeah. But it was like,
I love that.
We moved down there. I mean, I'm like, dude, sky's the limit now. Look at all the space we got. So every time we'd hire somebody new, I'd have the electrician come out, just put an outlet on the wall, put a desk there, they're ready to go. And I wish it was that easy now.
Yeah, right.
But now they have like 90 days of training and all this stuff. I'm like, how'd this get so expensive for someone to start? I'm like, I used to be like $250 in with the electrician to get my outlet and the desk, and we were ready to go.
These are the stories that just make it all like, that's the, where you're at now. It's cool and looking at all it, but the build up is really what makes it great.
And I think that's what a lot of people discount. That's what people don't want to look at. And I have so many people that are like, oh yeah, it's just always been easy for you. I'm like,
yeah,
cool. I'm like, I don't need validation from people. So it's like, that's what they want to think. That's cool. Mm-hmm. Like I'm okay with it. Mm-hmm. But we worked in the basement at 5 every day. Madison would cook dinner for everybody.
That's awesome.
And we go back down to the basement. We worked till midnight. Like, I had 2 TVs set up, one with PlayStation, one with Xbox.
So what are we doing till midnight? Obviously, we're not calling accounts. So is this where we're doing our editing and all the content editing and distribution and all the technical back end stuff?
Yep. So we were doing all the editing ourselves at that time and building all the ads out. And then it was still learning the new things to do. That we had an hour pretty much every evening that we were watching something new to learn how to do. Mm-hmm. And going over new cameras that were coming out, going over new drones that were coming out, going over just everything. And now I look back at it, we should have probably focused on some operations stuff at that time. But
so let's talk about that. Talk about some of your early, not little mistakes. Let's talk about like, what are some major costly mistakes that you made early that you would absolutely recommend that someone not do? I mean, if it's a piece of equipment or, or whatever, just anything, somebody starting in business, conceptually, what was a big mistake that you absolutely wouldn't do again?
If I had it all do it again, I would focus on the operation side more and having some sort of software to run everything.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to say there's like a magic piece of equipment that's going to change everything.
Right.
But I didn't have software to track everything. I didn't have, even though I came from the car world that we ran Event Solutions all the time and I'd been in that world. So it's like,
yeah, but that's $4 or $5 grand a month. New business owner.
But like, I think where I directed my time wasn't always correct, where I was wanting the immediate win. Mm-hmm. Where like I signed up for Monday at one point. I messed with it for like 45 minutes and I'm like, screw this. We don't need it. Just go on. This isn't making us any more money today. I'm like, if we get one more account, we can handle it. And it was just like, I wasn't building the foundation correctly. So I feel like if I would have slowed down to go faster, my dad's told me that my whole entire life.
Yeah, I know.
Now it's like, when we build something, I do make sure that it's built correctly.
Hey, by the way, you grew up racing motocross, so it was always go faster to go faster.
Yeah. So it's like
more throttle.
But it's just thinking sometimes like slow it down a little bit and say, when you're making a decision and you're putting something new in place, does this work with 50 people in the system? Mm-hmm. I think
even though you only have 1 or 2 people.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're already looking at scaling, which you didn't before. Yeah.
No. So now it's like everything we've built out now can sustain 200 people in the system.
Yeah.
It costs us a lot more money, a lot more time and effort to build it that way. But now when we bring on new employees, it goes so smoothly. Just all of the things happen. The communication with clients is better. Taking the time to build out, some of those just automated processes that can happen.
So would you say early on, a good piece of advice for someone starting in business, like think, build it big, build big business. Like think big, build it big, be prepared, like because if you go in building it as a like small 2 or 3 person business and then you build it and run it it's going to be that way, right?
Which I don't think ultimately, like in the beginning, I had the vision, I had the big, huge dream. Like I was never going for a short.
Mm-hmm. You weren't going to be you and your brother in a freaking bedroom in your house forever.
No, that was never the goal. Like I was planning on growing something big, and like everybody that knows me knows it's still one of the main visions of all of it still holds true today since day one. And I just don't think I used to think build big was just more money. Mm-hmm. I think financially you keep throwing more money at it. Like that's building big, but that doesn't mean the house of cards will stay standing.
That's right.
Towards understanding what building big actually means. And I think as a young entrepreneur, I think that ego came with me, and I thought I was a lot smarter than I was.
Just had this conversation personally today with my boss about some of the stuff we did with the med spa. Yeah,
totally. And I think it was very humbling because I had some money in the bank and I blew through it pretty quick. And the wild thing was I looked back and I was making a bunch of money. I'm like, I don't know where the hell it went. Like I literally don't know where all the money went that we were making. And I look back at our 1099s over each year and all of our tax statements, and I'm like, I don't know what I did with it. But it got to a spot that I had to pull out a line of credit out against my house, and I pulled a $150,000 line of credit against our house, and I told Mass I'm putting it all at Facebook ads.
That's so cool. I love it.
And she literally looked at me like I
pushed the chips in on black.
She looked at me like I had 10 heads. And at this point, I think I was 27. And she's like, no. She's like, what are you talking about? I go, no, we can go up tomorrow. I'm like, I know our house will appraise for this. I know they'll give us this. And also at the beginning of the marketing deal, my brother and I, when we were sitting during COVID, picked up our mortgage license.
Oh.
So I was brokering mortgage deals across from my wife to my dad. So I was getting some side money there. And when I told her I was pulling the line out against house, she didn't really know that I like ran out of money. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, I got no more money. And since we'd been out of the college, like I just always had money. Like I made really good money, and just money really wasn't a thing. And she's like, well, what's your plan with it? And I'm like, if I'm going to sell this to people, I have to believe in it wholeheartedly. And I go, my biggest frustration with marketing companies that would come in was that they never did what they spoke of. So I go, if I'm going to do this, the case study is going to be me. And she like looked at me, and I go, if I lose it all, I'll go back. I can go get a job. I can go make $200,000-$300,000 a year in the car world. I was like, and that's what I'll go back to. I was like, I have to know I put everything in on this to try to make it work. She's like, okay. So
I love that. That's huge.
I didn't have any income either really to show at the time. So she had to go up and sign with me on I didn't fill her in on that at the time. But I was like, hey, just so you know, you need to go to the bank with me. The house was under my name. Like I bought the house out of college. So we went and signed on that together, and I got $150,000, and I knew that if I was going to bring in that volume of work, I was going to need more people. And it was, I'm sitting in a basement spending $1,000 a day plus on meta ads.
Yeah. Like, oh, this better work. This better work. And that, so at that point you were just advertising your own company, right? You weren't, so.
And the videos were rough. And I'd math out how it all would work. And I was like, I could hire these people. And I was like, I'm giving myself like I probably have, 90-day runway. And I'm like, and if I hire these people, I pay them out, and I bring everybody else on, and I run it out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And I was very transparent with everyone. I'm like, hey, I'm showing you the exact move that I'm making. Mm-hmm. If it works, we can take this to the next level and we can go run something. If it doesn't, well, we're going to have to find jobs. I'll help you guys find jobs.
Yeah, right.
So that was that happened. It started working, and that's when we moved out of the house and went to the river market.
That's freaking awesome. I love that. So, okay, on that note then, what would you say early on, I'm going to say it was a blessing, but what would you say was the biggest break that you got? Maybe either calculated risk or chance you took that worked out for you, or maybe something that you got a really big, like unexpected break that really kind of helped, maybe take you to the next level, or just a big unexpected break that you got. My dad used to always say, busy people are lucky.
Yeah.
Right. And so, talk about like something that happened to you really lucky, because you're out there, busting your ass, you're working, you happen upon a strike of luck that helped.
I feel like I was teeing off, and I took a lot of meetings, and still to date, I'm not like a big pitch deck guy. Mm-hmm. I just don't really like the concept of it. And
did you say a pitch deck?
Yeah.
Like a PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I sat through so many of those that marketing companies would come in, and like page 1, they put together this whole thing. They think they know our business model, and like page 1 or 2, I'm like, that's not us at all.
Yeah, and they never showed you the dealer that they had that wasn't doing very good.
Well, it's regardless of that. Like, you can show case studies. So I like case studies to say, hey, here's clients that do well that we work with, but that's not saying that you guys are the same.
Yeah, right. That
no two business owners are the same. So I've never really been the big PowerPoint kind of guy, and I took meetings all the time, and people would reach out, and I was managing our leads coming in through Facebook, and I was also making cold calls each morning and doing all the things that I was taught in the car world and doing it for something else. And I have a buddy that the way we had done business with the dealership he was at, he goes to a different dealership, and he says, hey, we're looking at changing our marketing. They don't really want to have this meeting with you, but can you come in? I said, yeah, for sure. And we get it set up, and it was on a Tuesday, and I remember all weekend I was like, I'm gonna build out a pitch deck. I'm gonna build out this big presentation. So I'm analyzing. They got 13 OEMs, 10 rooftops, and I start working on all this stuff to take into them, and I'm like, I'm so prepared.
Yeah.
Driving out
Slam
there.
dunk.
Yeah, I get there. I'm in jeans, cowboy boots, and I decide to wear a long sleeve button up shirt, and I walk in, everyone's in suits. Like, you the marketing guy? I'm like, yeah. And I sit down, and I don't feel like I've ever sat in a room that I'm like, okay, 100% of the people in here, except for this guy, because I know him, don't want me here.
Yeah.
Like, they're wanting this meeting over as fast as I showed up. Because they literally look at me like, oh, are you the only one coming? I was like, yeah. They're used to being pitched by like 3 or 4 guys, and all coming in suited up. And I always called the marketing people that came into our dealership the blue suits, and they would all come rolling in a squad. And I'm like, how much is this going to be?
Mm-hmm.
So I sit down, and I start going through my pitch deck, and I mean, I had valid points with it, but they didn't want to hear it. And I sat there, and I was like, I know what makes these guys tick. I'm like, if I can poke ego, that's how I close them. Mm-hmm. So I just shut my laptop, and I'm only like 3 pages in on my 12-page pitch deck that I put together. I shut my laptop, and I was like, you know what? No one here wants to hear this. I can tell. I can read body language. I don't want to waste my time. I'm like, you guys are absolutely getting obliterated online by these dealerships. They own your backyard. So I go, if in the next 5 years, or maybe 3, your goal is just to run this into the dirt, congrats, you're right on path with that.
You're on trajectory.
I don't want to sync with your guys' shit. So go on. The owner like looks over at me like wide-eyed, looks over, and he's like, I think this is our guy. And I end up going to a bar and having drinks with him for about 2 hours after that.
Wow.
And it was
with all of them, or with the owner?
Just with the owner.
Uh-huh.
And it was well into 6 figures a month. And closing that was, to that point, like, I knew we could do it. I just hadn't gotten the stage to do it.
Yeah.
Once we started that account, I mean, it made us learn a lot about ourselves. And
can you share with who that account was?
It was the Briggs Group.
Okay.
And the wild thing is, still to date, that account over 9 months saw 25.9% increase in sales.
Wow. That's big.
It worked.
That's big.
But, and I think that was like and no ill feelings to them whatsoever, but like, I think some people just in business just love living in chaos.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And when things start going well, that they just take a turn, and they decided to, their marketing efforts were not most well spent online, that they'd be better spent via TV and radio.
Oh my gosh.
This happened in 2024. Like, radio and TV are decreasing every year.
Yeah, I don't even know if I've ever spent money on a TV ad. I can't remember a time that I did, if I did. And I've been in the business 28 years, and I've been in management for 20 at least.
And my thing is, like, I'm a competitor. So like, if you came and you walked in and you said, hey, we're going to double up the amount of videos that you're getting. I got bigger production crews coming in. We're going to spend more money at ads, and you're just getting a better product. I'd say, congratulations. I'll shake your hand on the way out.
Right.
You won.
Yeah.
When somebody just makes an absolute off the wall decision that like makes no sense. And it's like, the wild thing is, I had 4 managers from their group reach out that I helped place at other dealerships in Kansas City. They're like, I don't know what's happening here. I don't know why we're trying to burn the ship down from inside. But it was that there was a huge blessing. It was something that just came out. Like, I was swinging and I was like, I kept standing up, and it was like, I felt like I was striking out. I felt like I was getting that bats. I just wasn't making it happen. And I think it was because a lot of times I wasn't sitting with the right people.
Yeah.
And I go and I get that deal, and it gave a monster cash injection into the company really quickly. And it also, I think, solidified the team to know that they could do those level accounts.
Yeah, that's great.
Especially with having a group of people that nobody has a marketing background.
Right.
And I'm like, we're watching the numbers month over month increase. Watching lead counts increase. We're watching closing. Like, we're watching all of it. And I'm like, we're fully integrated in e-leads. We're watching every metric that we can watch is going northbound.
I love it.
And I'm just like, we can do it. I'm like, we just needed a chance to get on stage, and now it's happening.
Yeah.
And so the wild thing is, we end up losing that account 9 months later. And that account also taught me that when we had that account, I pretty much ran it myself. Like, I was on calls every week.
Well, that was your golden child at that point, right?
It was. I was like, and it actually, when we took that account on, even though our like topside revenue went up really quickly because it was one big account, we didn't really do like anything, because I backed off our ad spend. I backed off a lot of the things that were moving us forward. And I went more into like back into work mode.
Yeah.
That now I'm like, they always say work on your business, not in your business. Mm-hmm. I had 9 months. I just worked in my business.
Yeah.
And I became pretty much an employee of theirs. And I was their CMO for everything.
Yeah.
And after that account left, I was like, I can't let that happen again. Mm-hmm. So now there's no account big enough that could come our way that would inject me back into the system.
All right.
Because that's not what's best for MMG.
Yeah, right. Because you kill your sustainability, you kill your growth, your sustainability. Yeah, because then, yeah, I see that.
Yeah. So it was a good learning.
And there's the spiritual side of me knows that God's going to put things in your life, sometimes forever, sometimes for seasons, and that was just something you needed at that moment to get to the next level. So He served you up a little blessing, and it wasn't your meal ticket. That was just a little push.
And I think it was something too that it did push me away from the car business a little bit,
which is probably another blessing. Right? That's opened up your eyes to like, hey, there's more out here.
Yeah, it opened up my eyes, but I still have a lot of great friends in the car world. Like, yeah, sure. I just think it's something I really struggle with from a business side on what those partnerships look like. Mm-hmm. I think it took something like that was it was that lightning bolt, that shocking, that was like, made me take a step back. I mean, when we lost that count, I had 9 months of, we got on report calls every single week. I had their e-leads printed off every single week.
You knew where the analytics were by this point.
Yeah. I had every bit of their PPC on their Google side printed off. I had everything for every store, every OEM, and for probably 3 or 4 days, I just sat and I looked those over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what I miss?
Yeah, looking for nuances or just anything sticking out, and
yeah, and it was it was just kind of a wild experience as a whole. But it's crazy how much better it made us as a team, and
sure,
it also strengthened a lot of our.
How many people were on the company at that point when that happened?
12.
Got it.
So,
are you? Have you guys grown year over year every single year? Has there been any stagnant years at all?
No, it's been
up and to the right.
Yeah, every year we're 2-3x. This year will 4x this year.
You want to share your annual revenue? No,
you
don't have to. Okay, it's all good.
My deal is that
it's a lot. It's a lot more than when you started.
A lot more than when we started. And the other thing too, the reason for that is it's a lot for me. It's a lot for what it is now. I'm also in a lot of rooms. It's not a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, listen, there's always bigger fish, right? That's what keeps us going.
But it's also, there's a lot of really, really big accounts out there that we're getting the opportunity to tee off on. That one account's larger than all of our revenue right now.
Oh, really? That's freaking awesome.
So
I love that.
It's cool that we're getting into those rooms. We're getting at those tables to be able to bid those kind of accounts.
Yeah, even if bidding them, that's an honor, right? You're there. You're at the game, man.
And that's the cool thing is, like, right now we're working on one, but you sign NDAs when they come. So in the marketing world, they're RFPs, so it's request for a proposal. And your big agencies are the ones that get them. So your biggest agencies out there, I'm talking your $500 million+ firms.
Right.
They don't have salespeople. They get RFPs for all the big national companies when they're looking for marketing, which they always are. They have campaigns that are running, whatever it may be. They send out RFPs and they'll only select 3 to 5 agencies most of the time. Sometimes you'll have bigger runs on them, but so then you bid out against a small group, and then you can get down into the main couple that they're picking between. Then you might go in and pitch the board. And we have a huge Midwest company that reached out and like, hey, we've been seeing you guys online, and we want you guys to bid this out. And just to be getting, it'd be wild if we did get it. Because the hard thing is when you get those, it's like references of other campaigns that are similar in size. I'm like, none.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you guys will be the first.
But the cool thing is.
But we have great personalities.
The great thing is I know that we're going to catch one.
Yeah.
That they're going to say that there's going to be someone in that room that says, I want to give these guys a shot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why you got to keep swinging.
You got to keep swinging.
Yeah, just like it happened to Briggs.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't ready for that big of an account at that point and made it work.
But
somebody's going to say yes if you keep asking. It's the laws of averages, right?
Yeah.
You ask the same people the same question, somebody's going to give you the answer you want.
Yeah, and that's where I'm like, we're being recognized, though, to get the calls now for those.
That's awesome.
So it's a pretty cool thing that's happening, and I have a feeling that what we've done to this point will 20x in the next 24 months.
So, question for you: because I know you personally, and so I have this relationship with you, and you're humble and you're a good dude, and has it sunk in the magnitude of what you're doing and where you're going? Do you actually understand like the size of what you're building and what actually could come, and do you feel like, man, I can't believe I'm doing this, or do you have a part of you like, I knew I would do this, or you know what I mean? Where are you at in that the phases on how you feel about yourself and where you're at?
I don't want to say it in like arrogance, because I think a lot of times confidence.
No, be honest. Yeah,
I think a lot of times confidence can be mistaken for arrogance.
Well, I know you. I know you're not arrogant.
But it's like, I've always been confident whatever I point my efforts at, I know I could be great at it.
Mm-hmm.
And to where I never doubted myself. I never thought I'd fail. Like I've always just known, like, I feel like if you give 100% of your time towards something and you truly, like, I just don't feel like most people capitalize on a day very well. And I feel like when you capitalize on day after day after day and you focus on those daily habits,
Yeah.
that long-term vision just starts becoming a reality.
Yeah.
And I think earlier this year, it kind of started setting into I'll back up even a little bit more. So last year, I got married in May. And before that, in April, I had nose surgery at the beginning of April for deviated septum, scraped my sinuses. 2.5 weeks later, I go out to Kentucky for bachelor party. We're doing the Bourbon Trail out there. Hadn't been drinking that much, and I come back, and my nose starts bleeding. And I'm broke 17 bones racing motorcycles. I've had stitches everywhere. Like, I've been my fair share of injuries, but my nose was like bleeding like a faucet out of my mouth. Like I was holding my nose, and it was just.
Oh, wow.
Ambulance comes, and I'm in the hospital, and they're prepping me for a blood transfusion, and I'm losing lots and lots of blood, and it's the first time in my life that I truly didn't think I was walking out of that hospital.
Got a little scared.
My dad didn't think I was walking out of that hospital. My brother didn't. Like, I had 4 nurses in the room: the doctor, my dad, my brother, and it looked like something you saw off a TV show. It was blood on every nurse. The doctor had blood everywhere. Like, they were pumping me with blood clotting medicine. Nothing would get it to stop. And in that time, I sat there, and what I was most fearful of was, I know Madison's a crazy strong person. Like, we've always lived well one another, but like, she survives without me.
Mm-hmm.
I was fearful that I built something that didn't outlive my lifetime. And when I came back, I changed a lot of things, and I changed things quickly. That I've finally started realizing that, like, MMG is something that outgrew me as it was supposed to.
Yeah, that's great.
But it's something that it outlives anything I do now. So whenever it's my time, and there's something that's left that it can run, and I didn't have a sales department. I started a sales department beginning of this year, second location. So that runs and operates now. So it generates work every single month.
Mm-hmm.
I have 7-person leadership side. So I have 2 that run the marketing side, 2 that run the content side, 2 that run the sales side. Then my brother's my CFO, HR side. And
Your brother have an accounting degree?
no,
I love all this.
but
This is the greatest thing ever.
we pay a fractional CFO that works under him too. So he gets help on all that. But it's crazy to see how that kind of all works. And then I finally came to, I'm at peace with what we've built now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, now it's time to scale it.
Yeah.
I feel like now is like where we finally got to where our foundation's built.
So the terminology I would use for that is you feel very content. You're just not complacent.
Yeah. And
Like,
it's
content, like when you say you're at peace, I mean, you're like, you go to work feeling accomplished, and now it's just like, now it's almost like you're playing with house money. Now it's just fun. Let's go. It's like going to the casino, winning a bunch of money. Then you just get to play with the casino's money at that point. It makes it way more enjoyable.
I think also I've built the confidence in my head that, like, that first time, like when I pulled that line of credit out against my house, like, I mean,
That was the dice roll.
It was.
Yeah.
Like, it was sitting there grabbing a dice and just, I felt like I was rolling a dice just hoping to get a 7. Or
whatever it is.
You throw your dice and you get 7. Like, I'm not a big casino guy.
Yeah.
But it wasn't calculated. There wasn't a direction behind it.
You were betting on yourself.
That was it.
Yeah.
And
Strong bet.
yeah.
It turns out. Spoiler alert, that was a really good bet.
But now I look at it and I'm like, there's the confidence as what I've done and what I've learned now to this point. If I had to start over, I mean, I could build it from ground up and give me 6 months. We're
half
back
the time. Yeah.
6 months. We're back in the game. I'm like, I only need half the time. I'm like, I mean, the first 3 years, I mean, if I could go back and slap Dane from the first 3 years, I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like, and I was hearing it from all around, but I was too stubborn. I was too hard-headed not to listen. And I mean, I run into business owner after business owner every single week that I see myself in. And sometimes they may be 45 years old. They may be 50. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
I see early Dane, and I'm like, you've done this for 20 years and you're still stuck in that same spot.
Mm-mm.
The levels don't correlate to age.
No, and nor do they have to.
No. And I've been fortunate enough to be around a lot of amazing business owners and a lot of great people that have helped point me in the right direction. And it's, but no, with that, I don't fear having to ever start. Like, I don't fear if I had to start over.
Yeah. Well, you're way past that at this point.
Even like, I mean, I still bet big with what we do. Like, I'm still the first one. Like, the leadership side knows, like, if I see something and it makes sense in my head.
Because you guys have done several M&As, right? You've acquired how many little businesses now have you acquired? I wouldn't even say little, but how many businesses have you acquired?
So we did 2 last year. One was really successful. One was really not successful. So I thought after the first successful one, I was like, dude, I'm game on. Shit down my leg on the second one. So
did you now? Were you acquiring those businesses to incorporate them into yours, or was it like a flip type of deal where you're going to get this business built up and sell it, or were these?
So they were to come into MMG to widen our book of business.
Okay, got it.
Increase staffing. So, yeah. There's other things I want to do in the future too. That there's a lot of additional things that I'm into. Like, I have a payment processing company with a friend that does well. We started a VA company. But it's just a lot of the problems I see business owners have, that I see guys that are doing $20-30 million a year, and the guy at the top is still messing around with $12 an hour tasks. And I'm like, I can get you a $1,600 to $2,000 VA that can alleviate a lot of that and give you 50% of your time back.
What's a VA?
Virtual assistant.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So we use a lot of virtual assistants for different things, and not so much on the marketing side, but more so just alleviating tedious task load off of key members.
Yeah.
And so I've worked on, most of the time people try to hold a manager down, and I mean, once again, I look at dealerships that you have managers that are making well into 6 figures that are merchandising inventory.
Right. Yeah, I had that wake up call. I was taking an NCM GMEP executive class for NCM, and it was, guys that were running multiple rooftops, or soon to be dealers or whatever, right? And so we were on the used car section, and the instructor's like, who prices your used cars? I'm like, I do. He goes, you do? At the time I had 3 stores. He goes, for all 3 stores. I go, yeah, I do it every morning. He goes, that's terrible use of your time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, dude, no, I mean, I worked for VI. He said, I know all your credentialing of why you're really good at pricing used cars. It's terrible use of your time. And it took me the better part of probably a year after that to offload that. And I still find myself jumping in there every now and again. And, I just can't, man. Some of those tedious tasks that are important. They're very important, right? And you got to have the right people doing those.
But it's also like, if you're going to have those tasks done, like what I've worked on building out for myself and our managers, our account managers, is if they're going to have those people, what are the reports that need to be built where you can keep an eye on them, and you can build those red flag indicators that if things are going wrong, you're seeing it before it becomes too big of an issue. And there's a lot of things you can kind of build as those foolproof, safe things that you can still keep an eye on it, but you can now, instead of spending maybe 5 hours a week, if you spend an hour every day or 6 hours a week, and you might be able to spend 15 minutes on it.
Mm-hmm.
You multiply that over a month.
Yeah. Times a year.
Starts adding up.
Times your annual income divided by,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's huge.
I do that for every position I have. And most time somebody will have $100,000 a year earner, and they're like, well, that's just their job. I'm like, or you can really like maximize that person.
Yeah.
And they can be way more valuable to you. Spend another $24,000 a year. Offload the things that they don't need to be doing. Like I look at, if I went back in the car business, I would hire a VA for myself day one.
Yeah.
To say, hey, you're doing all these things so I can go out and TO deals and I can be out talking to customers and the most valuable spot that's generating into the overall business. But instead I'm ticked because a sales guy's walking in and I'm sitting here trying to make sure that I got all my cars merchandised correctly that are going online.
Putting banners and
yeah, just like simple stuff that's not a high value task. Like it has to be done.
Yeah.
It's a very easily teachable task.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it doesn't require a high level of certifications or anything like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't take a high level of thinking. It doesn't take high level of navigating a conversation to be able to do those.
Yeah.
You can get a VA train them in a day to take over most. You can take 20-25% off most people's plate like that.
Yeah.
And I started seeing that with a lot of business owners I'm around. So started the virtual assistant side of things, and same thing with the payment processing. I was just around a lot of business owners, and I got a lot of high net worth individuals around us, and I was like, how can I save them money and I can make something off of it?
Yeah.
And
Win-win.
I thought about it for a long time and finally figured it. My buddy Boy and I figured it out, so we're in business on that together.
There you go.
So just kind of, I also don't look into business that takes a bunch of my time.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of people that I have a lot of different business things come my way.
Sure. Now that you're proving success, it's like, hey man,
after
I got this idea.
Yeah. And everyone wants the marketing guy involved in it. So I'm like, well, and they're always willing to give the farm to me. But I'm like, I'm not saying that the idea is bad. I'm just not saying that's where I'm going to point all my time and effort.
Right.
Like my time and effort's at MMG. That's where it's focused. That's where I'm going to keep driving. Like the same bet's working over and over. I'm just going to keep making it. And any time as we progress that I can put something in place that continues to help business owners around us, I'll add that to our arsenal and our tool belt.
Yeah.
So
that's great. Tell me any without giving up any secrets, any big projects that you guys are working on that you want to share? There's something that you're excited about. I know you just mentioned those two things, but anything within MMG that, a passion project or anything fun? Any more bus podcast stations?
Not really. We got a lot of really big accounts on the burner right now that are coming down the pipe. And thing is, when you get with these really big companies, they run fiscal year contracts. Mm-hmm. Those are all coming up right now. And we've had multiple companies that we're in conversation with on some of those. So
cool.
I think those are deals that we're going to be getting, which will be pretty cool to step into that arena.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know.
Any significant equipment purchases you're going to have to take on any of these larger accounts? Like any of the, are you pretty up to speed on the media equipment? We're
definitely front-sided. Like I've spin up on the front side for that.
Yeah.
And we've always been pretty geared up and ready for anything that we take on.
Mm-hmm.
Because most cameras we run on everything. We could film Netflix documentaries tomorrow if we want.
Yeah, that's cool.
So we've always ran the highest end stuff, and I think a lot of people cheap out in the social media world on what they're doing, and I've always just kind of bit the bullet and paid up for it all. But I knew if those big opportunities came,
you're ready.
It was going to be stuff that we needed.
Yeah.
So geared up well on that. Content side, we're geared up really well. I don't know. It's like I look at a year ago, we were kind of in a disastrous state. Like things were moving, but it was just processes were breaking one after another, and a lot of the wrong staffing. We
Any humans that you're after? You got your eyes set on anybody that you're wanting for the company that does really well in a certain area that would be an asset that you've been kind of recruiting, or you don't have to say their name, but anybody that you're
not really because I see some of these like media guys out there, and there's like some great content people, but most of the time content people can be some of the most ego-driven people too. But I have an amazing group of content guys right now, and the wild thing is we have
I think I send in personally leads on your stuff all like every week because I click on the videos I want to see it blown up and be like, oh damn it, send another lead.
But no, right now we're staffed up well. The crazy thing, we have probably like 40, 50 people a month reach out that want to work for us.
That's awesome.
And just like organically, that's not running ads on anything. And if people are out there, reach out. Like, I'll take interviews. Like we never stop taking interviews.
I love that.
I always look at it that people are a lot harder to find than accounts, and there's plenty of work for us to have out there.
Sure.
Our product and our service speaks for itself. So our product and our service sells itself when we go in. So I'm not worried about getting accounts, but finding A players and finding the right people that run and operate the way we do.
Yeah.
And follow our core values and follow who we are and how we operate. Like there's just I'll hire those people on the spot every time. Like I have no problem betting on people.
Yep.
You keep putting the right people in the room.
Yep.
Game's different.
Yeah. No question. Yeah, for sure. Is there are there any positions, like specialized position, anybody that you're any role that you're looking for right now? Because use this opportunity to put it out there. Hey, we're looking for really good.
I don't know. I'll hire all the way across the company at any point. Like I said, I've pulled the trigger on some A players that have crossed, and I'm like, I don't know where they're going.
Right. We just got to have them.
Yeah. And it's like,
yeah, I know. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Sometimes you just got to pull somebody off the market because if we don't need them yet, we will.
And I've done it at the worst times that I've been at spots that we were just bleeding out money and everything else. And my brother's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I was like, in 6 months, this will be a decision I regret. So I'm like, I'm pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's what we keep doing. And I don't know. I feel like it's the same thing. Like you look at sports or football team, like if you let Patrick Mahomes pass you up, like you don't get 6 months later, like, hey, once you come back, like someone else sees their value and pulls the trigger on them.
Yeah.
To where it's, I tell anybody that if you want to, like Darby that's running our, he's one of our account managers. He was in the drywall world for like 6 years before he joined us.
That's awesome.
Played football at Northwest. Knew him, and he's like, hey, man, I don't really have any marketing knowledge, but could I throw my name in the hat next time you guys need an account manager? It's like 100%.
Yeah.
He goes and sits in interviews with Dalton and Logan, and they're like, well, man, he just doesn't really have a lot of marketing knowledge. I was like, Logan, Dalton, how much marketing knowledge you guys have when you start? They both look at me and they kind of chuckle. And I'm like, I go, we bet on people.
Mm-hmm.
I go, is Darby the person that we need? And they're like, 100%.
Yeah.
I go, then hire him.
Yeah. I love
it. And then, like, we just got I had a couple of account managers quit. We adjusted what the position looked like and just didn't fully align with what they wanted, and peaceful parting of ways. And I brought in a guy that I've been in talks with for probably, he actually sent me a text message that he sent me when we worked in the basement. And I've known him since high school, and he was like one of the main managers at Honeywell. And he's like, man, he goes, I watched MMG, and he goes, I just feel like it's something I'm supposed to be a part of.
That's awesome.
And he joined a little over a month ago, and dude's been lights out. Doesn't have some crazy marketing background knowledge, but organizational skills, work ethic, like adapts to things so quick, very agile in the space. Like what he's learned in a month and a half is wild.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But it's just like, I'll take that kind of person that has zero knowledge, that's willing to learn, that will check the attitude at the door, comes in just every single morning, happy as pie to be there and just a great human, I'll take that person every single day.
Oh yeah, I'd rather put a bit in the mouth of a whole wild horse than kick a donkey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got plenty of that. So, well, man, I'll be respectful of your time. I really appreciate you coming over. And anything else that this I know you get this platform a lot to share. So, anything on here? I think that in the spirit of what we do with this podcast and who I am with the Stronger Leader, that was one of the main reasons that I wanted to have you on here. Even though we didn't really talk much about leadership, you did, indirectly, just little things like that. You hire people for people, the human regard. And I think it's super amazing what you've done. You've not only a savvy, relentless businessman, you've been a good human, and you've given a lot of people a lot of opportunities. And I mean, quite frankly, what it looks like from the outside is you're probably giving some people some extraordinary opportunities that, a drywall guy would have not ever had otherwise. So,
Yeah.
I think for me, for you, and you've already poked a little bit of, expressed some interest in re-looking at the Jesus side of things. But I think that's probably, in my opinion, for you, I would love to see that piece of getting worked into your life, because I think that, your leadership and what you exemplify. I mean, listen, dude, you are all of the examples of what a good man looks like and what a real man looks like. You're humble, you're assertive when you're supposed to be, you're kind to people, you're assertive and kind, which is a very rare thing. You're doing all the right things that a good, solid Christian man should be, and you're just not wearing the label of a Christian man, which I think you deserve. So I'd love to see that element. I'd love to see for you to get a relationship with Christ one of these days, and if I can do anything to help that, I know a little bit about it. I don't know a lot, but I know a little bit about it.
No, I appreciate that a lot, and I really like what you're doing, and with the Stronger Leader, and I know there's a spot in my life for that.
Yeah.
And my thing was ultimately too is like I don't want to go down and I don't want to be remembered for business.
Yeah.
Business is just a vessel that.
That's exactly right.
Helps me have the opportunity to help more people. We do a lot with Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Yep.
Folds of Honor, PAL. Working on a partner with VFW right now. There's a larger purpose for me here, and I know that. And I think if you just do good by people, and once again, that's when it comes back to the actions speak louder than words. It's something I focus on day in and day out. That we never know when that time comes, but I live my life day in and day out that today's my last day. I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
I live today, and I didn't do wrong by others. Wildly enough, in business, I put finances. They're pretty far down the line, actually.
Yep. Which is why they keep taking care of themselves. Yeah. It's not a priority.
But I want good by people, and I think that the world needs more of that.
Yep.
And I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make the biggest difference out there, but I'm going to keep trying.
You already are, brother.
So
you are. And the good news is you're. What I know is that you get to see some of the fruit of the lives that you're impacting, because people tell you and they share with you, right? But it pales in comparison to the people that you're actually impacting. There's probably hundreds and maybe even thousands of people that are impacted by the things that you do daily, either directly or indirectly, that you'll never know about. But I know as a fact, because we need more people like you in this world that are doing the things that you're doing. I know the impact that you're having. So keep it up, man. I listen, I'm super humbled and proud to call you my friend, and I love you like a brother. I'd do anything for you.
Same.
For sure. Yeah, man.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for coming. All right. So you ready for this?
You gonna DJ out?
DJ out. And that's our episode with Dane Moss. I think this is episode 8, maybe. I'll look into that. I'll get back to you on that. But Dane, I appreciate you coming on, my man.
Thank you.
All right. Peace. Oh, I forgot. Be good, be blessed, be stronger.